You hack into major cryptocurrency exchanges.
Yeah.
You just vanish into the digital ether, completely leaving zero physical evidence. You are basically a ghost.
A very rich ghost.
Exactly. And then, after outsmarting the entire financial infrastructure of Karnataka, you get taken down because you couldn't resist ordering a little bit of hydro ganja on the internet.
It's the ultimate paradox of modern cybercrime, isn't it?
It really is. And we have a massive stack of sources for this deep dive today. We're looking at detailed reports from the Indian Express, Deccan Herald, NewsFirst Prime, and MEXC News.
Yeah, and what they reveal, it isn't just a story about one single hacker. Right. It's basically a blueprint of how a multi-crore international cryptocurrency laundering operation works, like right under our noses in Bengaluru.
And how a really mundane, real-world mistake can bring the whole house of cards crashing down.
Exactly.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to trace that exact digital money trail. We're going to unpack the actual mechanisms these hackers use to move millions completely invisibly.
And we're going to look at how evidence, like, literally vanished from police custody.
Yes, which is wild. And ultimately, we want to explore what this high-stakes game of digital cat and mouse means for the future of your own financial security.
Because, I mean, if state governments and top-tier crypto exchanges can be taken to the cleaners...
And the architecture we all rely on is clearly vulnerable. So let's start with the architect himself, Srikrishna Ramesh, better known as Sriki.
Right, so Sriki, along with his associates, that's Robin Khandelwal and Sunesh Hegde, they were recently remanded to 10-day custody by the ED, the Enforcement Directorate.
But to understand why the ED is involved now, we have to rewind a bit. We have to look at how Sriki first popped onto the radar of the Karnataka police back in November of 2020.
Yeah, the dark web drug bust. What's fascinating here is how modern cyber enforcement relies on these domino effects.
Like busting someone for a minor traffic violation and accidentally finding the blueprints to a bank heist in their glove compartment?
That is exactly what happened. So he buys hydro ganja using Bitcoin on the dark web.
Now, wait. My assumption has always been that the dark web and Bitcoin are like the twin pillars of criminal anonymity.
A lot of people think that.
Right, because you use the Tor browser to mask your IP address, you use crypto to mask your bank account, and boom, you're untouchable. So how does buying weed lead to handcuffs?
See, that assumption is exactly what catches most cyber criminals off guard. Bitcoin is not anonymous. It's pseudonymous.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, the blockchain is a transparent public ledger. Every single transaction from the very first block to today is visible to anyone.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you buy Bitcoin on a centralized exchange that requires your ID, what we call KYC or Know Your Customer protocols, that digital wallet is now forever tethered to your real-world identity.
Oh, I see. So even if he routed his internet traffic through the dark web, the moment he bought that initial Bitcoin, his name was basically stamped on the currency.
Precisely. And there's an even bigger vulnerability here, physical logistics.
Right, because you're ordering a physical thing.
Exactly. You can hide your internet traffic all day, but if you order a narcotic, the Postal Service still has to drive it to a physical address.
They can't email you hydro ganja.
No, they cannot. And law enforcement routinely monitors dark web vendor nodes. So when they flagged a suspicious package bound for an address linked to Sriki, the digital stuff didn't matter.
They just intercepted the package.
Yeah, intercepted the package, secured his physical devices, and that's when they realized they hadn't just caught a drug buyer, they had caught a massive whale.
And the scale of what they found on his devices is just staggering. First, they found him hacking into online poker sites.
Which is already a major crime.
Right. But then they connected him to a massive 2017 breach of a Tumakuru-based crypto exchange called Unocoin. In that hack, he allegedly stole 60.6 Bitcoins.
Which is worth over a crore in today's rupees.
Insane. But the absolute crown jewel of this whole operation was the 2019 hack of the Karnataka government's own e-procurement portal.
Yeah, that's the big one.
He reportedly drained 11.5 crore rupees directly from the state. Now, I have to ask, hacking a government system to reroute taxpayer money, how does that even happen? Is it like a brute force attack where he just guesses a bureaucrat's password?
Rarely. When you look at state-level infrastructure, the vulnerability usually lies in legacy architecture.
Like old databases.
Exactly. Government portals are often built on older, heavily patched databases. A hacker like Sriki would likely use something called SQL injection.
Okay, what is that?
It's basically feeding malicious code into a seemingly harmless search bar or login field on a portal. because the legacy database can't tell the difference between a legitimate search and a command to alter data.
Oh, so the hacker just gains administrative control.
Right, and from there, it's just a matter of changing the routing numbers on state contracts, so the funds deploy into shell accounts instead of paying actual government vendors.
He literally manipulates the digital plumbing of the state itself. That is terrifying.
It is.
And what blows my mind is the aftermath. You steal 11.5 crore rupees, you steal 60 bitcoins, you have to spend it. Right.
Yeah, you can't just sit on it.
And Sriki was living large. He was staying at a luxury hotel near MEXC Circle in Bengaluru, racking up a bill of 6.5 lakh rupees.
Right.
But here's the disconnect for me. You cannot walk up to the concierge in a luxury hotel and hand them a USB drive full of stolen Bitcoin. You have to convert it.
That is the crucial choke point. This raises an important question about how this money moves. To pay a 6.5 lakh rupee hotel bill, that crypto must become fiat currency. It has to become rupees.
Right.
This usually requires over-the-counter brokers, peer-to-peer networks, or funneling it through local proxies who take a cut.
And then they pay the real-world expenses in cash.
Cash or standard bank transfers. And every time crypto touches the traditional fiat system, it leaves a fingerprint.
Which brings us to the most baffling part of this entire deep dive. The evidence, or, well, the digital evidence in physical custody.
Yeah, this part is wild.
The Special Investigation Team, the SIT, they originally claimed they had recovered 31 of these stolen bitcoins during their probe.
Right.
And then allegedly, those 31 bitcoins just evaporated. They vanished from police custody.
Poof, gone.
No, wait. I have to push back here. We literally just established that the blockchain is a permanent, immutable public ledger. Things do not just vanish from the blockchain.
Well, the Bitcoin didn't vanish from the blockchain. It vanished from the control of the police.
Okay, explain that.
This exposes a huge misunderstanding of what it means to seize a digital asset. When law enforcement raids a suspect, they confiscate physical items, right? Laptops, hard drives, smartphones.
Yeah, standard protocol.
But seizing a laptop with a crypto wallet on it is like confiscating a photograph of a bank vault. You don't actually have the money inside the vault.
Unless you have the combination to the lock.
Exactly. And in the crypto world, that combination is the private key, or the seed phrase. It's usually a sequence of 12 to 24 randomly generated words.
Okay.
If you possess those words, you possess the crypto, regardless of who is holding the physical laptop.
So if he has it memorized?
If he has it memorized or backed up on a cloud server in another country, he remains the sole custodian of those assets. The police thought physical custody of the hardware equaled secure custody of the funds.
Wow. So while the police are patting themselves on the back for seizing a piece of plastic, whoever actually holds the seed phrase just logs in from a different device and transfers the 31 bitcoins to a new anonymous wallet.
Yes, and the allegations go even further than that.
Seriously?
Yeah, there are claims that Sriki himself continued to transfer cryptocurrency from his cloud wallets while he was literally sitting in police custody.
How is that even possible?
They suspect he used smuggled mobile devices inside the prison to authorize these transfers.
That is a profound security failure. I mean, it completely invalidates the concept of a jail cell.
It really does.
You lock a guy behind steel bars, but if he has his seed phrase memorized and bribes someone for a Wi-Fi connection, his mind is still out there operating a global financial empire.
Exactly.
It's no wonder his legal counsel recently tried to argue that Sriki was suffering from mental health issues. It feels like a desperate play for, medical diversion.
The judge completely rejected that plea. And rightly so. The courts are finally waking up to the reality of these crimes.
Yeah.
Orchestrating a multi-year SQL injection on a government portal, navigating dark web narcotics, and managing cloud-based crypto wallets from a prison cell that requires a highly sophisticated, rational, and organized mind.
Absolutely. This was not a crime of erratic impulse.
No, it was systemic architecture.
And that architecture didn't just support luxury hotel stays. It funneled right into the highest echelons of regional power, which is where this investigation detonates into an absolute political firestorm.
Yeah, the politics here get very messy.
So on April 20th, the Enforcement Directorate launched massive coordinated raids across 12 to 13 different locations in Bengaluru. They targeted Mohammed Haris Nalapad and Omar Farooq Nalapad. They are the sons of Congress MLA N.A. Harris. And Mohammed Haris Nalapad is also a former Karnataka Youth Congress president.
Right.
The raids also targeted Akib Rahman Khan, the grandson of former Union Minister K. Rahman Khan.
The sheer scale of these targets shifts this from a local cybercrime story into a massive national money laundering probe.
Definitely. Now, just to be very clear to you listening, we have a strict impartiality rule here. We are looking at allegations from both sides of the aisle.
Exactly. We don't take sides. The left has accused the right is accusing the left.
Right. Back in 2021, Congress leaders alleged that Sriki had actually hacked an astounding 10,000 crore rupees and demanded a probe into the then-ruling BJP.
And today, the ED is raiding Congress-linked figures.
So our goal isn't to play judge and jury or endorse any political narrative from the left or the right. We are simply following the paper trail exactly as the ED and our source materials have documented it.
Absolutely. We follow the mechanics.
So mechanically, what is the ED's working theory on how hacked Bitcoin ends up connected to prominent politicians?
Well, the reports mention the ED is tracing a digital money trail that allegedly shows funds moving from a cryptocurrency exchange in Dubai directly to the Nalapads.
But wait, if this money is moving through foreign exchanges in Dubai, how does the ED have any visibility or jurisdiction?
They utilize the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, the PMLA.
Okay, how does that work?
This is a vital piece of legislation because it allows investigators to basically bypass the complexities of the blockchain itself and focus entirely on the off-ramps.
The choke points you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. The ED doesn't necessarily need to crack the encryption of a Dubai exchange. They just need to look at traditional banking choke points. If a politician or their proxy is receiving massive, unexplained fiat deposits from foreign entities,
then the PMLA allows the ED to freeze those assets and demand an explanation.
right, they trace the traditional bank transfers backward, hunting for the moment that Dubai laundered crypto turned into rupees to buy a property or fund an account in Bengaluru.
It's the ultimate forensic squeeze.
It really is.
So the ED is investigating suspicious money transfers through Aqeb Rahman Khan's bank accounts, trying to bridge that gap between Sriki's digital ghost town and actual brick-and-mortar banking.
Yeah.
Now, I should add, Mohammed Haris Nalapad has vehemently denied all of this. After the raids, he stated that the ED searched his properties for 21 hours and found absolutely nothing.
Right.
He firmly denied any links to Sriki, pointing out that his family has a long, upright history in public life.
Which is exactly what you would expect in a high-stakes standoff like this.
Sure.
But the broader takeaway here is how cryptocurrency has become the ultimate untraceable frontier for political scandals.
Oh, absolutely.
Historically, money laundering required shell companies, offshore bank accounts, physical cash couriers, a massive physical apparatus that inevitably leaked paper trails.
You had to actually move briefcases of cash.
Right. But today, a crypto mixer can take a stolen Bitcoin, fracture it into thousands of microtransactions, blend it with legitimate crypto traffic, and spit it out on a Dubai exchange with its origins completely scrubbed.
That is terrifying. But the ED is clearly adapting. The fact that they're aggressively deploying the PMLA against a cyber hacker's network signals a massive shift.
Yeah, they aren't treating this like a localized IT problem anymore.
No, they are treating it like an organized crime syndicate. And we are seeing this exact same sledgehammer applied elsewhere in the digital economy.
Oh, yes.
The reports outline another massive move by authorities in Bengaluru happening right around the same time. They recently arrested 3 founders of the online gaming platform Gamescraft.
It's Deepak Singh, Prithviraj Singh, and Vikas Taneja. And notice the connective tissue here. They were arrested under the exact same Prevention of Money Laundering Act.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Gamescraft operates real money gaming apps like Rummy Culture. The ED conducted searches at 17 locations across Karnataka and the National Capital Region, alleging cheating, fraud, and money laundering.
And tragically, several of the FIRs against this company are linked to alleged suicides by victims who lost substantial money on these platforms.
It's devastating. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it proves the point perfectly. For a long time, if you got scammed on a Rummy app or a hacker stole a few Bitcoin from a local exchange, the local crime branch would take a report, and that was the end of it.
Right. The tools just weren't there.
But now you have a central national agency stepping in. The PMLA is being used to dismantle entirely new digital ecosystems, whether it's an underground crypto laundering ring or a massive real money gaming corporation.
It's like the Wild West is finally getting a team of federal marshals, but the outlaws just keep inventing entirely new types of invisible horses.
That is a great way to put it. It's a structural evolution in law enforcement. And it is entirely necessary when you look at the global context provided in the data today.
Yeah, let's talk about those numbers.
The FBI recently released their annual report tracking cryptocurrency losses across the United States. For the year 2025 alone, they reported $11.4 billion in crypto losses.
11.4 billion.
Yeah, that is a 22% jump from the previous year.
$11.4 billion evaporating. I mean, that isn't just a rounding error. That is systemic economic warfare. You can fund entire shadow economies with that kind of capital.
Which is why the judiciary is actively changing its tone. In a related case mentioned in the documentation involving a different crypto multi-level marketing scheme, a high court judge explicitly denied bail by stating that economic offenses of this scale must be treated as grave threats to the national economy.
Right. We are long past the era of viewing these as victimless white-collar crimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A hack on a government procurement portal degrades the state's ability to function. It is a direct attack on the financial stability of the public.
It really forces you to reevaluate the entire concept of a heist. I mean, we started out talking about the old tropes, right? The vault doors, the ski masks, the getaway cars.
The sun stuff.
Yeah, the movie stuff. But the reality is so much more pervasive and invisible. You have a guy sitting at a laptop. He finds an unpatched vulnerability in a government database. He drains 11.5 crore rupees into a string of alphanumeric code. He converts it through shadow brokers to live in luxury hotels. The police catch him not through brilliant cyber sleuthing, but because he ordered dark web weed to a physical mailbox.
The one physical mistake.
And even when they physically lock him up, the nature of his loot allows him to allegedly keep moving millions from a smuggled phone.
The learning curve for authorities is undeniably steep. The technology simply moves faster than the bureaucracy can write laws to contain it.
Yeah.
But the aggressive deployment of the PMLA and the involvement of central agencies show they're finally recognizing the true battlefield.
And that is exactly why you, the listener, need to understand the mechanics of this space. As our lives, our investments, and our assets become entirely digitized, this isn't just an entertaining true crime thriller.
No, it's a mirror reflecting the vulnerabilities in the very systems we interact with every single day.
Exactly. Whether it's the security of the exchange holding your crypto, the integrity of the government portal managing your taxes, or the real money gaming app on your phone, the threats are invisible, but the financial devastation is incredibly real.
The digital footprint you leave and the custody of your own assets has never been more critical.
Yeah.
I mean, if an entire police force can lose 31 bitcoins because they didn't understand the difference between a physical laptop and a cryptographic seed phrase,
Yeah.
it's a stark reminder that in the digital age, you have to be your own security apparatus.
Which leaves us with a truly mind-bending reality to consider as we wrap up today's deep dive. We've traced the incredible journey of Sriki and this sprawling cyber syndicate, and it all comes back to that image of a hacker in a physical jail cell. It forces us to ask a profound question. How do we fundamentally redefine the concept of incarceration in the 21st century?
It's a great question.
If a prisoner can hold $1 billion inside his head simply by memorizing 12 words and remain fully capable of executing a global financial heist the moment he touches a Wi-Fi connection, what does a physical prison cell even accomplish anymore? Something for you to ponder as you log into your digital life today.